Welcome to Deck of Tech. Today's deck is Story of Doom. Build around card for this deck is of course Doom Foretold, but also a big deal in the deck is sagas. Sagas has been the theme last week. This week it's just a really cool mechanic that we've seen underutilized. I mean, Elspeth Conquer Death is around the meta a lot, but there's a lot of other sagas that are definitely playable that we've been enjoying making decks around last week and this week. So keep your eye out for... So Ikoria spoilers are going on next week. I should be able to have videos of whatever my Patreons are voting on for this week. So keep an eye out for those. What do we got here opening hand-wise? Scry, yes. Into a Mystic, yes. Turn 3 Doom Foretold if we want it. And a final payment for if we ever get our Treacherous Blessing, but we don't start with the Treacherous Blessing, so all good things. Scry, and we're looking for a Treacherous Blessing. Hey, look! Okay, so we got everything we want. Seems good to me. So, if they play anything, we might do the Doom, but basically it requires them playing something. So I think what we do next turn is Aphemia and then Blessing, and then the turn after is Doom. Just drawing cards over here, don't mind me. Now we can either Doom to kill our own Treacherous Blessing, or we have a final payment if we need to do it that way. Oh, pardon me. A little bit of yawns going on here. Okay, so representing 3 mana. Flash deck, he doesn't likely have anything. Sorry, not 3 mana, because that's tapped. So, Growth Spiral, just did it really slow maybe? So we could do a Mystic and Doom Foretold. I think that's what we want to do. So, place a land, swingsies insies. Opponent's not in board wipe colors, so we're not too worried about playing our hand out. Okay. Opponent scoops with our pretty sexy starting sequence. Let's not lie. Let's see what we got game 2 then. So we have no idea what they're playing. I'm guessing actually Simic Flash, not some sort of Sultai ramp or anything, but could be wrong, which means we're bringing in Remorses. Brought Back isn't necessarily something we need against a Flash deck, but is something we need against a Sultai Value deck. So Agonizing Remorses get rid of Uros, they get rid of the Frilled Mystics, they get rid of a lot of strong things there. Maybe down the Shatters and the Kaya, because our opponent is going to have much less than us, creature-wise. Thinking maybe down the Brought Back just because we're not likely to be needing to bring stuff back, but we do like bringing back our sagas. And I keep forgetting to put in, we need our own Fabled Passages for this deck maybe, just because it makes Brought Back a little better. But Brought Back works really good for any of our sagas coming back. So Oath of Kaya, that's not going to hit many things of what they've presented so far or not presented. Could take out both Kayas in lieu of some stronger removal, like Banishing Light, but blue has bounce. So we're playing around a deck that we haven't seen. Oath of Kaya can hit the Flash deck if they have the 2/1 Flash guy that grows bigger every time you cast something. Kaya is also just a good card to sacrifice to Doom Foretold, so we'll keep Kaya. But I get the feeling that if we go to game 3, we're going to take out the Kayas for like Banishing Lights or something. So, I mean, I probably should have done that just now, but at the same time, we'll hold off. Nightmare into Blessing / payment into Conquerors, sure. Got a lot of Temple Scrying. What we're looking for is Mystics to reduce the mana cost of things. Or turn 2 play like Cacophony, which we got. Do we want a 3rd black mana? That leaves our options open for turn 3 to whether or not on Nightmare or not, so I think we want to keep the mana. Because then we could turn 2 Aphemia, turn 3, play another untapped land, play one of our 3 drops, turn 4, play a tap land. So this is fine. Okay, so it is Sultai. So we're expecting to see thing that casualties of war. Expecting to see casualties of war. So probably Nightmare just to get a duress going, and to start exiling his graveyard for Uro. So next turn we'll be able to see his hand, plan our next turn more appropriately. And he shouldn't be able to escape Uro before the last saga goes off unless he does something to the enchantment itself. Lucranos, hey look! Too bad we don't have... So we can sack the Nightmare to get the Plukranos using Final Payment, but then that doesn't exile his graveyard, and we want to exile the graveyard. So we're going to take 6 damage. Disdainful Stroke and Negate both hit, and Elspeth conquers death. Negate will not cancel the Final Payment, so we'll leave him the Disdainful Stroke. And we will Blessing then Scry, I think. We don't need lands at this point. So next turn it's Final Payment, then to another Blessing maybe. So during our upkeep, we're going to destroy the Plukranos, sacking the Treacherous Blessing. So that we can exile the Plukranos. Should have Growth Spiraled in response just to see if he got a counterspell, I would think. We'll go ahead and give him a target for his Soot by playing the Timuret. And then we're going to play Blessings if we don't have to Elspeth. So Aphemia is the one we want to leave in the graveyard the most often, because she counts as both an enchantment and a creature. But if ever we have a Mystic in the graveyard, the Timuret Calls the Dead will exile creatures, whereas Aphemia doesn't exile creatures, so the Mystic is often the thing we need to do there. So we're going to hold this other... So this Mystic, I'm going to keep one in the graveyard just because we have so many others, but in a pinch, the Mystic is the one that the Timuret Calls the Dead needs to be getting rid of. So I could cast an Elspeth's Conquers Death just to slow roll a Aphemia back into play, or I could Treacherous Blessing, draw a bunch of cards, and go from there. If I play the Timuret, he definitely Soots next turn. I think we're fine taking the damage at this point. We'll see what we get. So we're looking for like a Doom Foretold or something. Okay, so he's going to Soot us. Get rid of a Mystic, because we have one in the graveyard now. We have 2. He's got mana for Stroke. Oops, I did those in the wrong order. We missed 1 life. Because that's why we have the auto thing on, is because sagas don't do so well with the auto portion. So we will Remorse. Get the Vraska. Getting the Stroke would be... We don't want him to draw a card, so... Yeah, that's fine. We're just playing this to get a slow Aphemia back into play. Because once we get Aphemia in play, we have infinite zombies. Because we have half our deck in the graveyard right now. Fine, 14 cards, but that feels like half our deck. Opponent's trying to decide if we're just baiting out a counterspell or if we really want this. I'm casting it through a Treacherous Blessing. I really want it. We're looking for a Doom Foretold or a final payment to sacrifice the blessing. It gets to the point that if we get low enough, we're actually going to just... If we get a final payment and he doesn't play a creature, we would sacrifice Treacherous Blessing to kill our own zombie. Probably. Just to stop taking damage from spells. Our opponent rage quit the first game, and then is rage quitting now? I don't know. This is why we play ranked best of threes, is to avoid this sort of stuff, but you still run into it. It's one downside of playing on arena versus in paper, but I wonder if in paper this person does a table flip kind of thing. You don't hear about it often. I don't play against those kind of people in person, but the internet is a much broader place. So things we could have played different so far. We could have just ordered the triggers on the Timuric Calls the Dead to have gained one more life by waiting to do that until after we made a zombie on the other one. We also would have been able to scry one. But as you can see, it's all about just sagas. I know this shouldn't be the first video of the week, but it's been a good game. So, in every system, there needs to be ways to discourage bad behavior. Unfortunately, in Arena, there's not too many ways to discourage this bad behavior from my opponent. But in person, always make sure that you're encouraging good behavior and discouraging bad behavior. Bad behavior is anything that makes so people are having less fun. Good behavior is anything that makes it so people are having more fun. So always make sure you're polite. The handshakes, the good games. If they're not in a mood for a handshake, that's fine. Especially with current events, but you know what I mean. Like do all the nice little things. If you're starting to feel grumpy and grouchy yourself, don't take it out on your opponent. Go walk away, go do something else. You don't have to play Magic. Breath of fresh air is always nice. Anyway, so we do videos every day. So if you want to see more of these videos, go ahead, please subscribe. The best way to help the channel right now is to share this and have other people view and subscribe these videos. So if there's anyone you know that plays Magic, go ahead and share this with them. And yeah, I think that's about all I got for you guys. You got to see the deck in action. First game, our opponent didn't get to do all the things they wanted to. Second game, they did all the things they wanted to. We just did more powerful things. So yeah, peace.